Hello everybody, Bulldozer Investing. Today is December 23rd, 2020. It is 4:20 p.m. US Eastern Time. The video is for educational purposes only. This is not for financial advising. Please do your own due diligence and risk analysis before investing. Let's begin. Today, we had a good day and a heavy sell-off at the end. Everything is technical. The sell-off was also at a technical point. So let's look at SPY. I could look at the futures as well, but this is the daily. As you can see, on the daily, the 20 MA is holding on a good support. If it does break down, I see somewhere from 356 to anywhere from the 50-day moving average, 355. I don't think the drop will happen. I think we're still waiting for the news with the new checks, 2,000 per person, per couples for 4K, and so forth. So if that happens, the market will get fully pumped to 377 or 378 area, which we have been expecting. Okay. Now let's go ahead and do a shorter term analysis. As we had mentioned yesterday on the 30 minutes, but let's look at the hourly. That's fine. As you can see, you're seeing a inverse head and shoulder. If you do actually go ahead and do a trend line here, we did break the neckline diagonally, but it got a support that, so the last minute drop was totally fine. As you can see, a clear support on the trend line. We did break down the cloud support. That's fine. Let's see how the futures action will bring in. I don't look at the early futures, but somewhere around after 4 a.m., that's where we get a clear direction after European Open and so forth. So that's it. SPY looks totally normal. After a good day, we did have a sell-off with a volume, but I think every end of year, we could expect a huge run Santa rally after Christmas. Usually that's what happens. We don't really get the Santa rally on the week of Christmas, short week. Okay? So let's see what happens next week, but I'm aiming for 378 for next week. Okay? I believe the futures will start above the cloud resistance and then keep on moving forward. If we can break 371 tomorrow, that'll be a good way to finish the week. Okay? I tweeted today to get out of Blink, and right after that it just kept coming down. It is flagging. That's totally fine. When I say get out, like I'm not running I'm just trade name here, right? So the RSI looks good on the hourly, let it rest. MACD looks good on the hourly, let it turn around. I'm sorry, that was stochastics. MACD is about to come down, so let it rest. Maybe let it test 50 MA on the hourly and see what happens. Let's look at the daily. The daily had a huge run. Okay, I would probably, let me go ahead and activate this, because on my other chart I had a different, I had a fib extension. So our first target was 52, which the lower of today was 42, which it did get a support at the 161. Okay, 161.8 Fibonacci extension. I think we do have a run for 53, but let's see. The stock was too hot to begin with, so let it rest. It might even fill the gap around here, 37. Overall leaning bullish again. It could get a support on this cloud top, and also seems like 78.6 fib extension is there. I don't know if we can get there, but if we can get a support somewhere around here, like 38 area, 37 area, it could get another bounce. Again, heavy shorting, low float shares, could hit 53 eventually. I had a perfect timing for NNDM. Okay. For NNDM, I did mention that to get out at 1050, because that was our actual target, and as soon as it hit 1049, that had a huge sell-off. So where did I had the other chart, but I can't remember where I had the extensions drawn. Maybe I can pull out the other chart. But yeah, let me get the other chart because I can't remember the extensions that I had on that. Yeah, I said it's reaching our target, and I sent a live tweet around 10:49. As soon as it did that, bam. I would say it looks like it wants to fill this gap at 8:48. Eventually, if it comes down to 8:24, I'll be a buyer again, aiming for the $13 range. But what I think is by the end of year, there's going to be a window dressing. So the companies are going to sell the small hot stuff near the end of the week, and then go into the FANG to showcase their portfolio to their customers. So I believe the Facebooks, Netflix, Amazons, Googles, Apples, they'll run by end of this month, the 31st. Okay, that's NNDM. So we sold that out. We sold off Blink. The LAZR, it had a hot run with Apple. It looks like it's flagging. It could be a potential cup and handle. I want to see how this plays out. I don't, with low float, high percentage of shorts, I don't really go all in. I played as I assume it is if it's an options play. Actually, I can just do a brush here. So you can see this cup, and it's doing a handle. Okay. So on a breakout, we'll see what happens. Let's get the potential target. It does come around here. Yeah, right around here should be reasonable, 49. Okay. So let's see how this plays out. It's a sketchy drawing, but who cares? I didn't want to waste your time. Facebook had a good action today, but it couldn't get in the cloud. So I'm waiting for this name to get back in the wedge. Right now, if this doesn't, I was bullish, but in the long term, I'm really bullish on this name. But if it does not manage to get in this cloud, it could go all the way to 243s again. Because you see, it could be a triple bottom here, 1, 2, and 3, and if it breaks down, it'll be dangerous. Okay, so let's wait for this name. You can get out of your position slowly, but the MACD and stochastics are waiting right now. Let it turn around and see what happens. Right now, I'm neutral on this name. I did have a request for BIGC. BIGC, this is the broader picture. Okay, we are on a descending triangle. Now, this is usually bearish. Okay, however, my plan was the short squeeze on this. So we do see a rounding bottom. So we do see a rounding bottom, which could potentially act as a bullish run. Okay. Only thing you would have to do is position right on this slowly. Okay. And if this gets above 77, this will be super bullish. Basically, I'm aiming for this area, so I'll highlight it. This cross section of the descending triangle and the pitchfork. So if we manage to get above this area, I believe the stock will test 77, 78. Okay. It is testing patience. Stochastics is resting. I feel like we're living this moment right now. It could possibly drop and get a test of 68 again. But overall, it's a rounding bottom. It looks okay currently. But what I don't like is this big descending triangle. Okay? I do not want to test the lower lows again. The lower low, bottom of 64, it would be dangerous because that would be a triple bottom, which will complete the formation. Okay? So if you see something like this, so top, bottom, top, bottom, top, bottom, goes like this, and you're here, you better have dry powder or get out, because if it breaks down, it'll go heavy. Okay. I do see a lot of volume in this area, and then basically all this action, this sell-off here is pretty considerate, but it did run up. So let's see what happens with this name right now. The stochastics is resting, MACD is resting. We need to break above here for me to say, all right, I'm going in 10% of my portfolio. As I mentioned before, I probably consider 1% of my portfolio, and there's a reason why, because of this descending. Overall, I do think this is worth a while for that bullish run. If it happens, if the shorts do get squeezed out, this will basically go all the way to 110. Okay, and it will within like couple days. It could pull out another NNDM blink type of move. Okay, and I was dead on in this, dead on the NNDM, and only took like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days. We called it right here. So it is testing, and I believe what will happen is I just looked at the FCell chart. You see this pennant, the chart that I'm focused on right now. I mean, I played FCell and plug back 5-6 years ago, or maybe even 8 years ago when it had a run till $1 to $15. But the plug had $1 to 15. So this chart looks very similar to the name that I have been playing with. So let's compare the charts, right? Let me take a screenshot here. And we'll take a screenshot of this. Let's capture here, okay? And then let's go back to Palantir. So the next stock we'll go over. And by the way, if the channel doesn't hold and it goes back, possible support would be 22. So this would actually be a descending triangle then, which would be dangerous, okay? But now it seems like we're testing this channel. Every time we test it, we get a pullback. We test it again, we get a pullback. If we do get a pullback, I'm going to go zoom into an hourly. I'll tell you the areas to be considering. So let's go ahead and do something like this, okay? So what chart does this look like? I mean, I really thought that it looked like FCell's chart. So I'll bring that up again. So I am expecting and hoping to get something very similar. You see this action hits the top, gets to the bottom with a gap down, and then goes back up. Of course, this is a little higher. What I mean by that is the pennant is bigger. I can't really, I need to zoom in. My eyes are getting really bad. This is so annoying. Okay, so there's the pennant, and we could even do it from here, okay? And let me bring this up. So there you go, similar action. This didn't have a false breakout here, whereas the Palantir did, but you see this power once it breaks out. Okay? So I am considering a powerful move, and this had a gap up over the all-time high. So if we do pull out something like this, my target for 41-42 area is very reasonable. It could go like sharp move, so it could go something like this, like gap up, gap up, gap up, and just hit the top of the channel here. Okay? Of course, the FCell cannot be compared to Palantir because of the shares floating, and the number of shorts are huge here. Look at the spine. So here, consolidation. The downtrend is on consolidation, and then the move higher is with a bigger volume. And that's exactly what we want to see here. Consolidation. Even though it kept getting sold off on good news, which I'm really concerned with currently, I want to see that huge run up. So hoping for an FCell type of run. Okay. Will we get it? I don't know. We have to be patient. But I think bulls own the chart right now. If you look at the hourly, you'll be able to tell all the support lines. Okay. Sorry about this. 1 second. Okay, so zooming on this. So before, as you can see, this top that we tested 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, previously 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 times. Okay. and we finally broke off, hit, and you see the sell-off reason, you think it's profit takers, but every time we touch this trend line, it goes back, we fill the gap, and where was the support? Right around the 2818 level, which I have been saying for so many times. Now, I think a lot of people would think that the resistance is at 2930 areas, 2950 area. Okay, basically, if you were to draw a line, the highs here, the stock is moving very predictably. Okay, so it's just basically touching the previous highs and then getting rejected. That's what's happening. And it's getting the support of, where it will get the support would be the full body of these candles right here. Okay, so you see the body here, here, here. So this will be the support line, which we have seen in 1-2 candles here. So it might flag down again. This also looks like a mini cup and handle. Let's see how that plays. It didn't run. This would have been a good handle and run. We need to break 2 levels. Okay. Number 1, we need to base 2897 to the 2940 some levels here, the 2 candles and the previous candles. Once we break that and get in the channel, you can't get bullish than that. Okay, but right now, I don't like this action of hitting the channel, coming back down, hitting the channel, coming back down, hitting the channel, coming back down, hitting the channel. And if we come back down, the worst case scenario will be 2750. However, I do think the support is 2840s, and then it'll get picked up and try to hit my first target, and then eventually 35 and then 41. So these are the levels to watch. Okay? So the 61 level, 100%, and then 161. So that's Palantir. Other than that, the market had a pretty boring action. I was up net overall this week. Today I was up nearly 5%. This week I'm up 21%. So I'll go ahead and take all the pictures. So there you go. So 21% overall this week, 21.7. For the month, we've been up 38.47. Okay? And since I've started trading on this account, for particular, it's not a challenge or anything. I don't want to make this look like a challenge story. I hate those 1K to 100K challenge. It's just that I wanted to show how to trade, how to handle trading psychology, how to, take care of your losses and wins. Okay. So overall, when we started 3 months ago, we are up 76%. I think today, at one time, I was up like 82% for the past 3 months. So we've been consistently winning. Could I have won more? Yeah, I didn't get enough into NNDM and BLNK because of risk reasons. Risk as in I had so much of Palantir, and if I were to put average, I did an average cost. I did a average down my cost on Palantir. Net, I think up overall 10-15% on Palantir, but and then with blinks and the NNDMs, those were kind of like boosters, derivative for me. It just boosted me up, leveraged me up. Apple options leveraged me up big time. So the money that I kept making from there, 1,000, 2,000, 1,000, 2,000, I kept putting it back into Palantir. So that was a good thing. And I did not boost anything by adding. So originally we started with 10K and that's it. I didn't add additional cash. But I don't know if I qualify because my wife doesn't work, so I don't know how the tax system works. So if I do happen to qualify for Trump or the stimulus, I don't know how I would. But if I do, I'd probably put that money in the market. So I'll let you guys know if I do that. Currently, the limitation is because I started with 10K. Currently we're up 76 something %. So my total account currently is 18.3, I think, something like that, 18.3K. So currently I don't do day trading because the account doesn't allow me, and all my followers, whoever is following me, if I do have any followers, I don't really count my followers at all. Maybe I have less. I'd rather have consistent followers than, I'm not really doing this for, fame or anything, just the journey out here, sharing what I know, and if you benefit, that's great. So I'm gonna behave as if like I could easily put this back to 25K and do, you know, day trading and take care of all these like hot names and stuff. But I want to feel how somebody would feel like of starting small. So your average Joe 10K, and you know, if I had over 25K, of course I'll jump here and there and do a lot of trades and win throughout the day. I mean, today, just even today, I was up 2K with Palantir, nearly 2K. I didn't calculate the whole thing, but like maybe like 1.7. Okay, and then at one point Palantir went up to 0%, and I lost all this, and then it went back up, and I was up 17K, 1.7K. I'm sorry, and then it went back down. I lost half of it, and I was like 500, and then it went back up again, and I was like 1,500. And then eventually I closed the day with $800 profit. So between these, I could have made, like, just buying and selling through the day, I could have made like 5K. But I want to feel how an average Joe, how like somebody with a day trade limitations, you know, I want to live that moment and also reflect it to the followers. Now, if you're following me with 500K, I'm not really telling you to buy and sell with me or anything. Even if you follow me with 1K, I'm just sharing the charts. But just wanted to share out there that I just want to live that experience and can say, okay, I did 10K just trading equities and maybe doing, you know, leveraging with small like $400 options, $500 options, and then leveraging the account with that money, and then eventually get to 100K. Okay. Now I'm not giving myself a time target, but my goal for February is to be 25K. Which seems consistent with the money we're making, but also the money we're making seems consistent with the market. So if you don't have to be very intelligent to make 76% in 3 months, actually, if you didn't know anything about stock market and just put down whatever is hot there and put 100K and make like 300%. Okay? We're talking about, you know, doing technical stuff. There are crazy stocks out there that just make like 80% a day. I'm not showcasing that I made this in 3 months. I'm just sharing the journey of where we are right now. Now, if I was down 50%, I would have shared that. I said, look, the technicals we played, it's 50%. So we don't know what the future will bring. We're just following technicals. SPY looks positive. You know, inverse head and shoulder. 378 target next week for SPY. Palantir, I'm not giving targets because it is really wavy. It's taking its time. It's building. You know, it's consolidating. Weekly looks great on Palantir. Okay, if we manage to close higher than the previous candle, I think it will look really good. Okay, so I don't want to review any other stocks other than, I think, what did I like? Oh yeah, Cloudflare. So I'm really interested on the weekly candle. If Cloudflare does flag and maybe, you know, do something like this. This is the weekly chart, but if we finish the week by like $80, I'm 100% Palantir right now, which I should have not been. But if I did have extra cash, I would have bought Cloudflare. Looks interesting. Okay, it looks very interesting. So we'll see it hit the top of the channel. If it does hit the bottom, like 77 would be the lowest, but we'll see how that goes. Okay. Any other stocks that caught my attention? Maybe there's so many, but it just doesn't really like space. I'd like to mention that, and let that be our last stock. I'm really tired today. So this is weekly. I think I had drawn this for a daily. Yeah. So it broke out. It's a clear breakout. I think we are testing the fib line. I think it should be 50%. Yeah, 50% Fibonacci retracement and filling the gap, which would be $30. I don't know how space options move. I have not played space options before. I only bought the equity. Biggest mistake I did was on the sell-off. I got it. Actually, it was a gap down somewhere. Yeah, somewhere. I can't really tell, but I bought it like $17. So I don't know where it was. Maybe around here. Yeah, the bottom of the channel here. Bought it and I sold it for like $20. It was a big mistake. I should have seen this cup and handle and then a breakout. Flag breakout. So, and this fall, I don't really think it was a bad news. It was just meant to be sold off because 17 to 35 is 100% in 1 month. So as you can see, that's why I said I'm not bragging about 3 month, gain because I gained 3 months 76%. You could have just put in space without not knowing any stock market and gain 100% on 1 month. Okay. I do think that we will fill the gap for space, $30, and I don't know what will happen after that. Maybe consolidation to 27. Overall, I will always mention that I'm bullish on the stock and it could test $40. Okay. And even more to the upside. It's just that even $55, $51, 50, 59 range. Okay. So that's it. Good luck with trading. Take your own risks. Everything was educational. You should do your own due diligence, take your own risk, and nothing I mentioned is a financial advising. Just trying to point out the technical perspective and how I read charts, and I'm trying to learn from the best, and I always, watch other people and be considerate and gain as much as knowledge as I can, and I wish you do that as well. So good luck, everybody. Have a nice weekend. I don't want to say weekend yet. We have tomorrow, last day, and enjoy your Christmas.